On an uncommon Sunday, we'll see that translates to vote in the all-important June 7th. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell in Nevada, New Mexico, where Bernie Sanders is expected to speak at that rally any moment now. Kelly, thank you so much. Today, former President Bill Clinton hits the campaign trail in Chula Vista, California. That event is set to start in just a few minutes. And while later today, Hillary Clinton will deliver the keynote address at the Trayvon Martin Foundation's Circle of Mothers Gala in Florida. For more on the Democratic race, I'm joined by Jason Johnson, politics editor at The Root, and also Evan McMorris-Santoro, BuzzFeed White House correspondent. To both of you, thanks for being here with me this afternoon. And we get started, Jason, with you. Safe to say, kind of highly unlikely that Hillary Clinton will win enough pledged delegates to ensure the nomination before the convention, even with her current lead. And got the Sanders campaign arguing that it can flip superdelegates at the convention. But how viable is that strategy at this point?
Oh, it's not viable at all, Francis. Bernie Sanders isn't gonna flip pancakes. He's not gonna flip hamburgers. He's not gonna flip superdelegates. That's not gonna end up happening. The only way that you're going to get someone who has committed this far in the campaign season to flip to another candidate is if your name is Barack Hussein Obama, who convinced everyone by beating Hillary Clinton during a primary that their previous assumptions about who would be the strongest candidate were proven wrong. And unless Bernie Sanders can beat Hillary Clinton and demonstrate demonstrably, without question, that he can beat Donald Trump this fall, no one's flipping.
Okay, we're still seeing the lines, as reported by Kelly O'Donnell just moments ago at that event in New Mexico. We're still seeing the crowds, although when it comes to the dollar signs, we know how strong that was with individual donors before. That's kind of slowed down a little bit. You know, you have a campaign who's raised close to $26 million, but you look at the calendar there, that was in April. But then now you see what they have, $6 million on hand now. So if Clinton wins big on June 7th, will the lack of funds, is it going to be a money situation that'll end it for him?
Well, I think so. I mean, look, it's not just money. It's also enthusiasm. I just spoke to some Sanders people that I know last week. Folks are moving away from the campaign. They're looking at other jobs. They're looking at other opportunities. The momentum for Bernie Sanders, people are still feeling the burn, but they're also recognizing the sun coming up over the horizon. That sun is named Hillary Clinton. All
right, Evan, I want to turn to you here. Earlier in the hour, I don't know if you watched it, MSNBC's Joy Reid, she spoke to Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid this week. Of course, Bernie Sanders came up, and here's what they talked about.
I admire Bernie Sanders. I appreciate the direction that he's helped push us as Democrats. But again, I believe that the people around him need to be more positive about what his contribution can be and should be. I think that he has the ability to be a tremendously more powerful senator in our caucus than he was. He was no patsy to begin with, but he could be something much more than what he was.
All right, so we have heard from Senate colleagues who say, you know what, it's time for you to bow out. But do you think those colleagues behind the closed doors are making the argument, you know, that he'd be more likely to move the party on progressive issues in the Senate than continue on?
Well, this is a big talking point now among Clinton supporters. They have had Bernie Sanders in the race for a very long time. They're desperate to pivot to a full general election fight against Donald Trump. And so when they look at Bernie Sanders now, and there's still a lot of energy on his side and social media specifically, and his supporters can kind of harass establishment Democrats quite a bit, they like to see that stop, and they want to see Bernie put a stop to it. Now, the question is what he's going to do with this energy. That's really the question that is moving forward. And it's not clear yet what he will do. It's not clear if he's going to try to use the energy that he's created on the campaign trail that surprised everyone, including Bernie Sanders, I might add, whether he's going to turn it into something in the Senate that is sort of like a thorn in the side of people like Harry Reid, who won't be there at the time, but people like that, or if he's going to be sort of like try to help and push things left. I think it's clear that Hillary people would prefer he goes with the latter model, sort of more of a kind of like, you know, a kindly nudge to the left, when a lot of Bernie supporters still want him to be kind of like that thorn in the side, more of a Tea Party type. So it's really not, it's really open debate, but it's clear that the people in the Senate now are saying to Bernie, look, we're going to listen to you, but we're not going to put up with too much more of this campaign that you're running.
Well, all right, Jason, we know that Hillary Clinton, of course, you know, when many would say they'd like for her to pivot and focus on the general. Of course, Bernie Sanders is there, as we've been talking about. But then you also have Congressman Trey Gowdy, who told my colleague Chuck Todd on Friday that there's a Benghazi committee is planning to release this long-awaited report before the conventions. All right, is this something, you know, with the campaign, that they're in a position to respond to this? And really, when it comes to Hillary Clinton supporters at this point, is it going to matter?
No, Francis, this doesn't matter at all. The only people who still care about Benghazi are the few people who wasted their money on that movie that came out a couple months ago. I mean, like, if you're a Republican, you already think Hillary Clinton is guilty. If you're a Democrat, you don't really care about it one way or another. This has been debunked 100 different ways. There is no story with Benghazi. And I think it's example of the Republicans desperately trying to knock her off kilter because they don't trust Trump.
All right, Jason Johnson, politics editor for The Root, and also Evan McMorris-Santoro. You'll be back with us a little bit later on, so you're going to stay put. Thank you to both of you.
Thanks.